Shilpa Shetty Kundra, we love you so much. From me, Rishike, and everybody at Radio 1. Very luminous happy birthday in advance.
Yay! Thank you.
So this is what, you're a number 8.
Yes.
And I'm a number 8. And
Really?
astrologers look at my chart and turn around and say that, there's going to be strife and there's going to be this and that. I look at people like you and Roger Federer, who are number 8s and doing so well for themselves.
Yeah, but we've
you
had
believe
strife,
in that?
no?
You believe in that? You believe in like 8 and
It's
numbers?
like the whole yin yang sign. So it's like my mum, who's into astrology and numerology, always says that number 8s have very high highs and very low lows. So there's no midway for us. So yes, the struggle is hard, but then when we achieve our goals, it's worth it. So yeah.
Lovely. So you're on the high now? Or you're on the way to the high?
I'm high on life. Even if I'm going through a low professionally or personally, I want to look at it with the perspective of positivity. So I'll always be high.
Yeah, you have that positive aura. When you come into a room, the room just lights up. I
How
have to say
sweet.
that.
Thank you.
And that
Rishi.
hasn't changed even once over the years.
Thank you.
The app is lovely. I went and actually checked it out last evening, and it's obvious that you've taken great care and gone into the details of it. How long has it been that you've been working on it? Has it been a year, 2 years? Wow.
2 years of sweat, toil, and money. My own. But, well, I kind of curated it, keeping in mind that we were going to cater to people who needed direction in the field of health and fitness and wellness. More importantly, to make people understand the importance of nutrition. That's one vertical. Yoga, I've always been synonymous with for the last 15 years. So yes, that's a very important aspect of the app. So everything to achieve your health goal. So everything from a curated, bespoke diet plan. Like for example, if you've downloaded the app, you'll see we've got post-pregnancy workouts, we've got fat loss workouts, 21-day weight loss workouts, and each one of them we've got a specialized nutrition plan with it, recipes that are for free, a diet chart that will tell you what you're supposed to eat for lunch, breakfast, dinner, snack, what you're supposed to drink, why you're having a rest day today. Rest is taken for granted. Sleep is underestimated. Your body has to repair itself, has to rejuvenate itself. So what we are doing is trying to educate people. So this app is literally going to potty train people to fitness.
What I love is, there's also meditation in
Yes.
there. And going by my life, I'm an emotional eater. And my big problem is I just don't have a switch off button. I can just keep eating. When I'm working, I don't think of food. But when I'm sitting alone and the work is over, I'm just eating and eating and eating. And a lot of nutrition is in the mind, isn't it?
Yes.
And one has to quieten the mind. And
Yes.
it's so wonderful that you have these meditation sessions for 20 minutes and 19
Yes.
minutes and things
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
So how important is that mind-body thing,
Well, I am a huge believer and propagator of yoga. It really is a science, and my take back from it and from the lessons I've learned with experience from yoga is the fact that it really aligns your mind, body, and soul. And it's also made me realize that your mind is more powerful than your body. So someone who has suffered with cervical spondylosis today can do a Shirshasana, can do a Vrishchikasana, the scorpion pose. These were things that were beyond imagination for me 15 years ago. So I've trained my mind and my body has just followed. And anyone who's listening to me at this point, if there's anything that they should take back from this interview, is that you have to have control over your mind, whether it be your emotions, your eating, your thinking. If there is clarity of thought in your mind, automatically everything will just follow suit and will work in your favor. You have to train your mind first.
And a lot of what you do, which is what I love about you, is, part of your own life skill as a person as you're leading your daily life. For example, you're a mother. And back in the day, I mean, you can't blame our parents.
Yeah.
You know, there was no question of, oh, the child will want to eat when the child wants to eat, and don't force feed the child.
Yes.
I mean, to our parents, cry just meant or khilao, you know, and,
Yeah.
and there'd be more food shoved down our throats, which has not led to that, you know, that turn off point. So lots of people don't have that turn off point. So how have you raised him in terms of his relationship with food?
You know, I'm going to address what you said and shared with us exactly 3 minutes ago, where you said, you know, you don't know where your switch off button is when it comes to eating. And I'm not blaming your parents, but I just think that I don't think that was a priority. For them, priority was to make sure that Rishi was going to grow up into a good child, that he had respect for elders, not teach him how to eat or how to chew his food or to choose between this or that. So those choices, you ate and you were a good child and you did what was served. You know, you ate what was served to you. So the whole training of children from a young age of how to choose between good and bad, I feel, is so important, especially in this generation where there's an influx of junk food, aerated drinks, sweets, so much sugar in everything and around you. Even when you go to the supermarket, there are lollipops kept there while you're, you know, paying out. So I just feel that there's so much temptation. It's so important to teach your children what not to do and what not to choose, how to label read. And that has to come from a young age. So if they train, so I've tried to do that with my son. I don't know how successful I'm going to be because he's still 7 and I still have a say in what he eats. But he knows that sugar is not good for him. He knows that his mummy is not a killjoy. Like on his birthday, I made a cake with fondant, and you know, once I made him a cake with coconut sugar. He just regretted it when he was 6, but now he's 7, so he speaks. He said, "Mama, can I have a normal cake without coconut sugar?" So I put all kinds of like sweeties and gummy bears on top. I made it look really fab with lollipops and all of that. I was like, okay, my son listens to me for the rest of the year. On his birthday, let him have his way. So I just feel that he knows on other days there has to be a discipline, and mama has a say, and this is not good for me. But on Sunday, even he does a Sunday binge with me. So he's allowed anything that he wants.
Like those Kelvin pancakes.
Yeah.
Which I saw on your Insta feed.
Yeah.
But you know, you do fun stuff. I mean, parents are always, I mean, we have a 6-year-old and eating burgers and pizzas is cool. But what I find is, you know, you make these interesting candies, which are healthy ones.
Yeah.
So you kind of find your way to put health even into so-called quote-unquote junk food.
Yeah.
And you think, you know, that's something all parents should look at doing now, yeah?
Totally. I just think that we as parents, it's our biggest folly that we are making it aspirational for our kids. That, oh, you've scored well in school, let me take you to a burger joint. Let me treat you to a burger. Or let me order in pizza. Pizza can be a once in a while thing. It can't be food. You know what I'm saying? And if you're having it at a place where they're making it from scratch, like a nice Italian place, I don't mind it also. I enjoy a pizza when I'm in Tuscany, or, you know, when I'm in a place where it's really worth eating a pizza. But for me, as a discipline, as a lifestyle modification, I stay away from refined flour. It's made with refined flour. But you have to make those modifications in your cooking. So that's something I try to do with my YouTube channel where I cook, and I tell them, you know, you can make a cauliflower base and it turns out really crispy and yum. So try and avoid and stay away from, you know, refined sugar, refined flour. So it's literally it's a mindset. Health is about a mindset, and it's a discipline. So if you inculcate that in yourself, I think you will lead by example for your children. So.
What a wonderful team you've put together, and I like the fact that it's not all about you. You know, you've actually made videos introducing some of your specialists. Yeah. It's a wonderful book that Luke Coutinho wrote with you. Yeah. Which people really enjoyed reading, and you know, he's into cancer care. Yes. He's perhaps the most well known, but some other people who are behind the Shilpa Shetty app who've made it what it is. Tell us about them.
it's all these people who have made the app. I see, as a celebrity, I'm very aware that we are taken seriously with what we say. We are able to leverage our name to various brands. But why not do something where you can be of help to people? You can play a catalyst in improving someone's health and wellness. And that is the reason I set out on this journey. And it started 15 years ago. 11 years ago, I started, with shooting my own yoga DVD. I said, let me do something that I believe in, because yoga played a big part in getting me back to health, because I suffered with a very bad neck. And while on that journey, I realized, oh, it's also making me look better. And it's helping me maintain not just my body, but also my, the way, my youth. And I just feel that everybody adheres to a certain fitness regime only to stay slim, to look young. It's for all the wrong reasons. And for me, I just think that those are just going to be like the add-ons, those are perks. So don't lose weight to stay slim. It's to become strong. That's the reason you should be doing it. So these people who are my pillars in my app, whether it be my book, they've all been people I've learned from, whose philosophy I have followed. And Luke came into my life as a friend, and we both speak the same language, believe in the same things. He does some great work, and he's more experienced, he's learned. I'm not a nutritionist, but I've spent enough time with him. He says, now I can give you a certificate, you can be a nutritionist. But I can't write a book on my own. But I know if I leverage my name to a book that says that this is what I say and what I believe, people will buy into it and people will try and follow it at least. That was the reason behind the Great Indian Diet that became a bestseller. And people realized how easy it was to maintain health with simple foods like doodhi and pumpkin, and you didn't have to buy expensive foods like avocado. You know what I'm saying? So simple philosophies. And now with the app, I have the likes of Vinod Channa, Luke, Raj Panigrahi, Dheeraj, the people who are really great in their fields. I can't curate a program. I can bring the team together and say, tell me what you have. What's the best thing that we can do at this point? What's the newest thing in the market? There's high intensity workouts, there's animal workouts, so many new things that are coming out. So they're the ones who put their minds together and work as a team, and then put the best thing up for offering for people who want to make a difference to their lives.
Is there a particular form of yoga that you follow, or have you just evolved your own style, mixing and matching?
That's my
things
next. That'll be. Well, I want to create a yoga revolution.
A Shilpasa yoga.
Maybe more like a super yoga kind of thing. I actually blocked the site. Can you believe it?
Awesome, yeah.
But yes, I practice Ashtanga yoga. I have done all kinds of yoga, Iyengar yoga. I've done Vinyasa, but Ashtanga is the oldest form, and I practice that.
So you've actually done BKS Iyengar yoga, but Ashtanga appealed
hard.
Most to you. Yeah?
It's simple, it's slow. There's so many kinds of yoga, Rishi. You'd be shocked. And there's hot yoga where you increase the body temperature, but it takes a toll on the kidneys, on your on your organs. So for me, yoga is to be able to oxygenate your nerves, your chakras, to kind of rejuvenate your cells, and to be able to open your mind in an open space. That's the best way to do yoga. Can't be cooped up in the confines of a room and increase the temperature and dehydrate yourself. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't believe in that kind of yoga. So my philosophy is very simple, and that's why SS doesn't just stand for Shilpa Shetty. It stands for simple and soulful, and that's how I've led my life, and that's what I want to preach through my app.
And I can see, you're very present, you're very in the moment. Years and years of interviewing people, that, stars, their minds will waver. I mean, nobody's to blame. The questions get repetitive, this, that, but I can see that you're really in the here and now. Is that a result of all the pranayams and the breathing and this and that? Because one always lets the mind fritter to the past or the future. The fact that you're in the here and now and able to do that for long periods of time.
That's a really interesting question. But I think most actors are here to promote their movies and the characters that they're playing, talking about that, not who they are and what they represent. what I do, I take pride in because I don't have to make up any stories. This is who I am. This is what I'm trying to tell people to do to enjoy a better quality of life. And yes, living in awareness is a huge part of. I think that comes from the whole yogic principles. So you have to live in awareness, live in the present, be there in entirety. So yes, but I love what I'm doing. I love the moment that I'm in right now to meet you for the first time, talk about what I'm doing. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. Money is really incidental in my life. I've earned a lot of it, but it's happened because I enjoy what I do. So that automatically just flows. But what I pay, importance to is the fact that I'm doing something that I really want to be. I know I can't be there in everybody's homes, but through this app I can. And that for me, in a way, I've entertained people, but this is entertaining people, motivating people, and holding their hands, showing them the way to stay fit. So I don't think there's a better you know there's a better way to convey my feelings, my passion to people, and there's no better karma than this.
Do you do cardio at all? Are you a running
Yes.
kind of person? Do you do it outdoors? I mean, can you?
You
might
have a
get
baby,
mobbed.
babe. You will do cardio automatically. you have a 6-year-old.
Running
Yeah,
after
your wife is doing the job while you're sitting on this chair and interviewing people. Yeah.
So are you like do you do interval training? Do you go on the treadmill? Do you go outdoors? What do you like? I mean, you might not be able to do it in India, but for example, when you were living in the UK, did you manage to go out to Hyde Park or St. James Park?
No,
and
I
just
live
walk?
in Surrey. I live on a hill, so it's beautiful. It's fresh air, and I always tell my husband we live in the Pind. It's literally 1 hour away from the city, 45 minutes away from the city, but it's serene. There's no noise, and yes, we take a cycle. We're just around, up and about, and that's the kind of life I really feel I miss over here. So in terms of the way I work out, it's a mix of a lot. So I do high intensity training, but I prefer to do it when I'm away from the city. When I'm in the city, I concentrate on yoga. I do functional training, a bit of weights, because once you touch 35, you lose a lot of bone density and muscle mass. So,
But in terms of the running, is it short intervals? Is it sprints? Or do
no,
you
I
a
don't
long
do that
distance?
kind of cardio. So
Yeah.
my cardio is cycling. Yeah, even if it's static.
I see your early films. I still loved you. I'm a South Indian man, so you epitomize the South Indian beauty even back then when Bazigar and all were
Thank
happening.
you.
But there's been a lot of change. And obviously it was a mental switch that turned to become fabulously fit.
Arey baapre.
Do you remember any point, or was it just so gradual and seamless? You did say that the mental change happened first. You said, the mental change caused you to make the physical change. But everybody just says, she just went from A to point Z. I mean, just completely fabulously fit.
No, the thing is, I've always been inclined towards fitness because of my upbringing. My late father was an athlete, and he nearly wore India's colors. I did taekwondo in school. I did volleyball. I represented Bombay district, Bombay zone. So that kind of training was already kind of inculcated at a very young age. I did Bharatnatyam on the other side. So I was very fit. I think I was one of the fittest actresses to join the Bollywood industry at that time. I remember there was a time when a hero was going down to the gym, and it was unseen for a heroine to be lifting weights, and I would be doing that. Wow. So so my tryst with fitness, knowingly, unknowingly, happened because of my training in school and for the different things that I did. But to maintain my body, I think that happened around just before Dhadkan. Because I remember Dharmesh wanting me to look a certain kind. He says, I want you to look like a waif. I want you to look like Gwyneth Paltrow. I remember him saying this to me. He said, I want you to be very thin and lean. I don't want a buxom heroine. So I said, "Oh, really?" He said, I want you to wear those sadhana salwar kameezes." So I started doing a lot of cardio at that time to lose weight. So I joined the gym at that time, and I think it really struck me in a way that changed my life and my perspective on fitness and health after my baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there a film you worked on that you had the most fun on? It was such a fun experience.
All the films I've done have been really wonderful, each one being a learning curve. But a character that I really sunk my teeth into, it was a fun experience in a way that I hadn't done something like that before. And it was a very, very tough role. I think it was Induji's Rishte. It flopped, but it was one of the funnest characters I had done. Yeah.
But from a shoot perspective or hanging out and this and that, they've all been fun. There's nothing that
Yeah.
you can pull out. in
All
particular.
my films. We used to only have fun. It was never about work. Where we'd get dialogues written on the sets and given to us and like, ye pad lo.
So living in Surrey is beautiful enough, but I know that you would travel, Raj and yourself and your son. Is there a travel destination you've gone to and said, "Wow, this is so good"? And what would that be
Lake Como.
in Italy?
Yes. Oh my God. It is just stunningly beautiful. But Raj and I have decided maybe we'll buy a home when we're like 60. It's a little old. Yeah, we're a little young now. At least we want to believe it.
Yeah, it is a retirement paradise.
Yeah,
isn't it?
really.
Lake
It's
Como is.
beautiful. It's just so, just
I can imagine you guys cycling around the lake. Did you do that? Did you do that? Yeah.
It was so big. We stayed at the Villa DS. It's such a beautiful property. And we kind of were lurking around George Clooney's house. We took this little boat. I think, yeah, dekho, George Clooney ka ghar. It's terrible. Yeah, but just to be just sitting under a tree in the warm sun and licking a gelato. Yum! Freshly made gelato. That's life.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Two things that you make for Vian that he really loves.
There's so many things. He loves cooking, my son. So it's like, I feel that's our time. And there's the things that he does with my husband that I can't do. They're fighting and they're doing freaking WWE. One is Roman Reigns and one is Patani John Cena, and I have no clue what is happening. I just move out of the way because once he has kicked my husband and his leg has nearly hit my nose. So I was like, gosh, this is not happening. But cooking is the time that I feel like he's mine. Like this is my time with him. So he enjoys baking. And we make brownies, and he makes these really different kind of juices. I'll be in a narration and he'll be like, "Mama, taste this one." So, yeah, my son just loves it.
An adventure sport that you've done that was so cool. I mean, Khatron Ke Khiladi time, any other time? Have you like bungee jumped, parasailed?
That was my sister. My gosh, I have no clue how she did all those things, but she's a real trooper. I couldn't even watch it. I was under my duvet with my eyes only
So
coming
you haven't
out.
done any adventure sport in all your life?
I've
yeah?
done it. But I love archery. I don't know if that's an adventure sport. So
But you haven't done the falling off a plane
no,
and this and that.
no.
That's not your
Oh
scene.
my God. Bungee jumping, maybe it would be in my bucket list, but yeah.
What's your favorite decade? Like, in terms of fashion, in terms of being cool. Are you 60s, 70s or 80s person? What's your decade?
Listen, 90s was epic, okay? It was my era. But we did some really crazy, weird stuff. But I'm proud of it. And I just feel that I'm a more... I like stuff. I like fashion to be timeless. So I feel a white shirt knotted with a nice distressed pair of jeans can never go out of style. And then you want to go out for a night, you wear a nice pair of stilettos. It'll always stick. You know what I'm saying?
Irrespective of what decade.
Yeah. So for me, I'm really, even whether it be the decor of my home, I like things to be eclectic. I like them to be original. That's the kind of person I am. I hate following trends. I make my own.
So birthday plans this year, are you in a position to tell us? Or if you're not going to tell us and keep it top secret, then at least tell us about one awesome birthday you had in the past.
Gosh, I've had many. After my husband's come into my life, it's been crazy birthdays because he's this very birthday kind of person. And I'm not actually. I'm really boring. I suck at even planning birthdays, so I feel really terrible. So if people ask me what don't I do well, it's this. So on my birthday, it's the only day that I don't plan. Otherwise, my diary is in my manager's hand, and I'm like, okay, what next? And then there are agendas, that I have to adhere to. But on my birthday, my husband will call my manager and he'll be like, I want this day free.
So what's happening this year?
I have no clue. He's just said, you're with
It's
me
a
from
secret.
morning to evening.
But one that wasn't memorable in the past, did you get like one of
So
those?
for my 40th, I was in London and my husband said to me that, let's take 4 days off. My son is 7. We've never taken time away
Right
from
now, I just
him.
had a jaw-dropping moment. You're 40.
Yeah, no, I'm past 40.
What are you?
Very
My
proudly.
God. And Luke says it's
So-
all natural and you're wonderful
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this and
thank
that.
God.
Take his
No?
word for it.
Yeah,
Lovely,
but,
lovely.
So at 40, I remember I really needed a break. My son was around 4.5 at that time, and I was really looking forward to like some me time. Okay, so I remember we flew to Nice, and he said, and Nice actually only sounds great. Okay, it's very ordinary, and then from there he took a private jet and he said, okay, guess where we're going. So I had no clue. So I was really like pooped. So I went to sleep and I woke up. He said, okay, guess where we are. I had never even heard of a place called Montenegro. So he flew me down to Montenegro and he had booked out the entire Amman resorts. And I entered the resort and there were 55 of my very, very close family and friends who suddenly popped out and I nearly got a heart attack. So imagine when you're really looking, I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing, but it was the most amazing 3 days of my life, and he single-handedly planned everything, and he had planned it like a year ago. My husband is British. Yeah, he plans holidays, things like 1 year back, and he blocked
I
people's
love
dates.
that
I was like,
word.
gosh, who does things like this?
Very British.
Yeah, very British.
My last question is, this came out of the Versova beach cleanup, and Afro is the guy who's cleaning it up, who's now a UN brand ambassador, says every time they clean plastic from the sea, it just keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What happens in the Shetty Kundra household? How are you saving the planet? What are the steps that you've taken to save the environment?
Gosh, there's so many things, and I really feel it's like a domino effect, There's global warming, which is happening because of the temperatures rising. The temperatures are rising because of deforestation. Deforestation happening because all kinds of things, people want more land. Seas are being, the rivers are being filled with more stuff to build more land. I just feel like there are more earthquakes happening. People are not conscientious about how they're going to lead their lives 20 years down the line. I just feel that people are just thinking about now. People are not thinking about the future. And it's high time that, we build an awareness and become conscious for ourselves first, and then every drop will obviously make the ocean. But I feel every drop is not enough anymore. You need a bucket because the situation has turned so bad. So everything from just small little things, like I remember we did the whole Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and one of the first niyamas in yoga is Soch. So cleanliness cannot just be from within yourself, it also has to extend and go into the environment and the surroundings. So for starters, I think to just stop mixing your waste, segregate waste, because when you're using biodegradable stuff, throwing out biodegradable stuff, there's a different place they put it into and they make energy out of it. But if you're going to use glass and plastic in the same thing, then it's very hard to segregate it. And there's no way for it, it starts emanating a stench. There's various toxic gases that are being let out into the air. It's such a bad scenario that we're living in. Don't waste water, especially when your child is brushing. I see a lot of people who open the tap and are brushing, and there's so much water wastage. So it's quite a scary scenario. So I feel you guys at your level can make that change. Radio is a great milieu through which people can change their life, and a certain awareness can be brought about by you guys.
Shilpa Shetty, you're lovely. Time for me to get a quarterly or a yearly subscription to the Shilpa Shetty app.
Yay! The
Everybody
Shilpa
was
Shetty app, guys! Your yearly subscription at this point is at 60% discount.
Thank you, my dear. God bless you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.